Welcome into King's Table, guys, where we talk about movies, comics, toys, geek stuff, maybe video games. Chris shaking his head like he
Yeah.
doesn't even care.
I don't care.
You don't?
No, I care.
You care. So today we're going to talk about what we think's happening with the DC movie universe and the Marvel universe, like where they're heading, like what we think about them, what they've done so far, all that stuff. So to start it out, I think Marvel's still winning.
Oh yeah,
the race.
They've been winning for a long time.
They've been winning for a long time. They have a formula that's working, even if some of their films are just seem like a recycled entity of another one, which is what comics are in general.
Yeah.
But they can't miss.
No, they
got to see Guardians of the Galaxy this year.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's almost here.
Mm-hmm.
They just every time.
Yeah, but I would say they might be reaching their end.
Is that because the end of Phase 3 is coming up, or is it just because the end?
They're gonna have to start over, and I think people might be getting like marveled out, as like you always hear from people.
Okay.
You know, but I think you're still gonna pull it off though.
Do you feel like it's because there's so much out there and it's like watered down now?
It's everywhere. I think it's just not just from the movies. It's just from all the merchandise, all the TV stuff. It's just everywhere. And I think people might be switching gears a bit.
See, I don't think so because they're doing a good job of introducing new characters. Like we're gonna get Black Panther here.
Yeah.
We're getting a whole new Spider-Man that's gonna revitalize, I think, the series. As long as Sony, I'm sorry, stay out of it. Knock it off. Yeah. You're like the dad that Marvel, our mom, left. And you're cool to come around every weekend and like let us see Spider-Man, but don't take over. You're just not a good dad. Stop it. You're drunk. Go home. Like they just need to not touch it. Don't just do for 2 films and then try to go off. And you're like, did you hear they just casted Venom?
Yes.
Film.
Yes.
Tom Hardy, amazing actor.
Yeah.
Did great at Bane. Does great in everything. And he is going to be Venom. It has nothing to do with the MCU. It has nothing. Sony's doing it on their own. And it's going to be a horror.
It's going to be...
horror.
Is it going to be rated R?
Yeah. But it's going to be a horror. But here's the thing.
Let's hope.
Let me ask you a question. It's like when Catwoman came out, that abomination that I'll never see with Halle Berry.
Never watched it. Didn't care watching it.
Villain movies by themselves usually make no sense. So the only reason Venom exists is against Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
And his whole goal is to kill Spider-Man. That's about it.
Yeah.
Okay? So what the hell's the point going to be?
It's like an origin, like where he came from. Like
he's a symbiote from space, and so unless it's another plant, stupid. Like, I'm sorry. Then you're making a
unless they're leading it into Carnage.
Maybe you have to have Spider-Man for that.
Well,
the only reason Carnage exists is because of Spider-Man 2.
That's true.
You can't just see this is why
you put him in prison or whatever.
And see, this is where Marvel could have a problem. If the other entities like Universal and Sony that own the rights to all these characters start like trying to take them away, and people that don't know the backstory think that Marvel's in league with this. And let's say Venom comes out and it's garbage sauce, like I think it's going to be, which pisses me off mainly because he's my favorite character of all time.
He's really cool.
Is my favorite, and I don't think he translates well to live action. It's like Dragon Ball Z. It's a great idea. It's never going to work for the live screen.
Yeah, he's all CGI.
There's so much going on unless the CGI was so perfect. And even then, I don't know if it would work right. It's such an imagined character that it works good in your nightmares. It doesn't work good in real life. But back to that, that's the only reason I think MCU would fall. Because even their TV stuff's doing well. Iron Fist might not have been the greatest show ever, and it might not have been the best of the series, but I think it might round out with the Defenders. And there are things that we've seen that have been watered down, like the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter, and those things where people didn't love it, but it's still doing well. Because the movies trump... Well, yeah, but what I'm saying, it didn't do great.
Right.
Movies trump all. And you're going to see characters die in Infinity Wars, and you're going to see 63, and you're going to see all these new ones introduced. The only reason I would agree with you that it's going down is not because it's watered down there so much. It's because the new characters that are going to be coming out are going to be even more powerful. Yeah. And it gets to a point where, like, I hate Superman. I'm going to say that. He's not my favorite character. I don't like characters that are too powerful.
Yeah.
They can do anything. And he was written in the time where, he was a good-looking white male, an alien that could jump buildings, shoot lasers. Like, he was the ultimate. He could do anything because he can save anybody. Right. And the whole point was he was supposed to save the day all the time. Nowadays, when you read a comic like that, you would be bored because who beats a god? Nobody. So what do? You create a bigger god that can fight that god. And then you just keep making them more and more powerful until you get to a point where there's no point
Yeah.
And that's, I think, where Marvel will fall, is if we keep introducing these higher and higher beings that it makes, like if Eternity, like comes in, it's like, okay, well, what do we do now? 'Cause
Right.
that's an ultimate celestial god, and who's going to fight him? Oh, we need 90 characters in this movie to fight it. That's when it would go down. But still doing way better than the DC. And DC, I think, is because they try to make an actual comic book movie. And what I mean by that is they try to stick to the story close, and they try to make Batman what Batman is, dark and gritty.
Yeah.
Their problem is they almost always want to give us an origin story with every film. And we don't...
I don't want origin.
You don't need to see it all the time. Like, we know Batman's parents are dead. We know, like... I wouldn't care if they started out a film where he's just the old guy, like Batman Beyond, and that was a film. And I wouldn't care if that whole film didn't show me a flashback. Like, oh, here's when his parents died. I know how they died. I don't care anymore. I've seen it a billion times. You've changed the story 6 times. Stop it. That's one problem with the DC universe. 2, they tried to play catch up. They tried to make all the movies like, Justice League first or what that, Suicide Squad, which I thought would have been great, and it wasn't.
No. It
was a good film, but once a bad guy showed up, because you had all the bad guys, but then once another bad guy showed up, it got worse.
Yeah.
The soundtrack was the best soundtrack out of all movies.
They blew all their budget on the soundtrack.
Yeah, and I mean, they reshot though too, because they were afraid it was going to be too dark and not funny enough, and it's like, I'm sorry, that's what might give them an edge against.
But what did they add though? What was like the jokes?
I don't know what they added. What they did though is they
really
reshot because they thought
funny.
Batman vs Superman was too dark and boring.
Yeah.
And I like the movie. A lot of people don't. It's boring, but I like slow films that you have to think about and build up to. And I like the story of Batman vs Superman. Could it have been better? Yeah, it could have been way better. Could there have been a lot of things? Yeah. Was it beautiful? Yes. But Zack Snyder makes beautiful films. Was the Martha scene the dumbest thing ever? Yes. But whatever. And that, I mean, if you want to know the Justice League coming out, the plot leaked, there's a stupid part just like the Martha scene. Just beware. Just be prepared.
The only thing I'm actually excited, and it's the weirdest part, I hate Aquaman, but I love the guy they got going for him.
Yeah.
And the look of him, it just looks so cool. And he's making Aquaman awesome, and I'm more excited to see that.
That is cool that they're doing that. See, I'm more excited, and I've never really been into her that much, and I've said it before, as Wonder Woman. And it's not that I'm against the women empowerment or any of those things, but I think they're going to do a very good job with her story. They're going to... They took her suit, which was already sexy and fun, and they made it work.
Yeah.
Which was a task in itself. Because we expected some goofy, like, your girlfriend just went to the Halloween town.
Right.
And bought a wannabe stripper Wonder Woman costume on the screen with, like, a little more metal because they need to make it almost real. They did such a good job with the suit, and they kept it to where she's feminine, sexy, but not over-sexualized, if that makes sense.
Right.
Where we're like, just like, oh yeah, she's running around in a thong and high heels. Like, that's not happening. She's badass. But she does it in a way where it's still true to the character, and she doesn't need to be naked. That's what I'm excited for. I think the story, I think that's going to lead off to where DC is going to have a rise, but then I think they're going to fall right again, because we're having problems with the Batman film where Ben Affleck dropped out. He's not the director anymore. He said he wants to focus on playing the character more, which I think is a cop-out, saying that he doesn't like they're not giving him creative direction. The Flash director, do we have one not anymore still, or is there a new one? That keeps happening. Aquaman, yeah, we're going to try to make him badass, but are we going to make him too badass? See, that's my problem, is he's a dork. He gets made fun of. If you take a dork and make him into the ultimate, like, bully, it sometimes sucks. There's a difference when you take a character like Captain America and he was a skinny little dork and you give him roids and he becomes big and he's a good guy. There's a difference when you take a dork in green and yellow spandex who talks to seahorses and make him a buff dude with tattoos that drinks too much with long hair and, like, wants to kick the crap out of you at all times. Is that going to be too much? I don't know. Is Justice League going to be a mess? The only character I'm worried about is Cyborg. I think he's going to be over CGI'd.
Yeah, I don't like the way they have like the suits designed for anybody either. It's too,
I like the Batman suit.
Yeah, I do like that one.
The Frank Miller look, that's good.
Yeah, but the rest of the suits for everybody, it just
Wonder Woman.
looks okay. Like Flash, Aquaman, even Superman. I guess Superman was okay, but I don't like them.
You know?
No.
Do you like the Marvel suits?
Except, well, they took a bunch for Cap to get right. I think they finally landed on something where Cap looks good. But yeah, most of the Marvel suits are good.
See, I like them too, and one
like
thing
all
I
the
like
Marvel
with that
ones.
is how they have Stark involved, Stark Industries, where he develops most of them,
Yeah.
and they also realize that they need to make them modern, and I think that's what DC's halfway doing right. I do agree with you that some of the suits still look campy and dumb. Like, I love the look of the Batman suit.
There's too much going on.
But to
with
be
something.
honest, if a guy fought me with that, you could. It looks like you can shoot right through it. Like
Yeah,
the
like
Christopher
cloth,
Nolan
yeah.
bat suit looked legit, and it looked like realistic, like it should.
Yeah, but I never liked the cowl setup that they had.
No,
It just looked cheesy. The suit itself was really cool.
right.
It was just the cowl.
I don't know. I think if DC can, they know they're going to get Wonder Woman right. I think if they can get Justice League right, or at least get parts of it right to lead into the sequel, they're going to be okay. But I just don't see it happening. We've wanted a Nightwing film forever. They're finally putting it in post production. We got a Batgirl movie coming out. We got all these movies coming out, and what they're doing is they're either trying to take directors from Marvel or direction from Marvel, and either course has not worked, and that's their problem. I think, even the TV shows they did, they signed with a terrible company of the CW where you've made it for tweens. If I wanted to watch Green Arrow that, with his shirt off in a hot tub, then I would be a 16-year-old girl, but I'm not.
Flash is still like kind of on the downward, but it's hung in there the longest.
See, it reminds me of Smallville. I mean, I get the story and it's there, but I would only watch it, if I was drinking too much or if I was just hanging out and nothing else was on. It's not, I don't need to watch that to get my fix, and that's what Marvel does for me. I need to watch Daredevil to get my fix. I don't need to watch crap from DC. So I'm still worried for them. Do I have hopes? Yes, but Marvel, I think in the end, is still going to win this year. They're going to win on every film. Thor Ragnarok, I think, is going to be the best film of the year. Now, mind you, people, I've said other films in this room were going to be the best films of the year, and I've been sorely mistaken. And I also said Power Rangers would be garbage sauce. Not that it was great, but it was a lot better than I thought.
Yeah, me too.
But we will see, and I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see where these characters go from here.
Yeah.
What's your favorite movie coming out from either one?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah.
And then what about from DC? Are you excited for anything?
Well, I guess Wonder Woman.
Okay. I don't, and here's the funny thing. I'm so excited for it, but I don't know if I'm going to go see it right away in the theaters.
I don't think so. I don't know.
I read the reviews, and we'll see. I know I'll be going to see Spider-Man right away. I know I'll see Thor Ragnarok. And I think that's the other thing. Marvel has roped us in to where we want to, and DC has sort of scared us away.
We've have too much time put in,
Yeah, well, we have time put in, but also DC, I think, has scared us with most of the films. Like, I went Suicide Squad opening night, I went Batman vs Superman opening night, and not that they were terrible films, but I was disappointed.
Yeah.
And I think that the trend's going to continue. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully they get something right here. Tell us what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know. What films do you like better? Who's winning, DC, Marvel? And you know what? Even compare it to the comics. Who's winning there? Let us know. And we will see you guys on the next episode of King's Table.
See you guys.